Dana Miller-Mackie will start the championship game on lane 77. And she begins with a 2-7, the baby split. She missed that in the semifinal game.
Lane 77, she opened up with 2 washouts in that semifinal game. She comes up a little bit high now. A very make-it-able spare. She wants to just put the ball right through the 2 and the 7. And Linda Urbanek put the ball right between the 3 and the 6. I mean, the 3 and the 10 this week.
And missed.
And missed.
That's got to be a little frustrating. Tish Johnson, our top seed, led this one going away by over 400 pins.
She says, the worst I can finish is second. This is her 10th year on tour. Both Tish and Alita came out at about the same time, took the tour by storm. Very young players at the time.
Playing the extreme outside angle.
Well, this lady likes to play the channel. She likes to swing it.
One big difference, too, she's obviously swinging the ball a little bit more than any of the other left-handers.
The other left-handers trying to play more direct. Appears Tish did not get through the ball very well that time. She looked at the approach.
Open frame for both players, so they both start with 9. Tish Johnson made a ball change after the opening round. Shot 250 over in the second round of qualifying and then never looked back.
Dana Miller right behind her the whole time, except last night. Position round, Leanne Barrett was in second. Dana shot 240 pace and went around her.
10 pin is left, and if you've just tuned in, a little different angle for our cameras here this evening because we had 4 left-handers qualify for the championship round. We've shifted over a little bit to give you a little different perspective of how the lefties have played them here at Satellite Bowl.
Well, I really like it this way because we're able to see their angle. When you shoot it from the right, it's very deceiving.
Well, it's either that or we could use the old camera angles and just hold the mirror up to the television, and then all the left-handers become right-handers. Have you ever done that?
No,
but
works
great.
I saw a negative of myself that I was left-handed,
yeah.
And that was odd.
Did you still yank it? Just kidding. It was only a joke.
Okay. The last
you finished 12th this week.
That's right. The last week, I'll let it go.
Okay. Well, by the pocket it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows, including the 2 players on the telecast right now.
Dana having an exceptional year last year in Australia. She won the 89 AMF Super Circuit, a series of events in Australia. She's really become an international player.
Fans have had plenty of practice oohing and eyeing here this evening. If you can believe this, our high game in the US Open in the championship round tonight is a game of 192. Players average 218 on this championship round pair throughout the week.
I was joking with this crowd last night. I said, you know, you're really a very good television crowd because they were doing a lot of oohs and ahs. And
survival of the fittest, I have a feeling. Washout on the left-hand lane.
That ball going very long, just barely got out the head pin. As she actually left herself with a more difficult split, but we saw her convert the 3-7 earlier. The 3-6-7 is not much harder than the 3-7. Here the ball just actually stays in a slide quite long and barely nicks out the head pin.
Cross lane. And she gave it a good run. 3 consecutive opens for Dana Miller-Mackie, and Tish Johnson leads by 22.
Tish taking home a big prize. Fun last year at the Sandstown Invitational last November, and she also came back to win the Cambridge Mixed Doubles with Ameletto Monticelli in December.
Ah, yes, a strike, and Tish was running that one out from the get-go. Normally in her game, if she starts heading exit stage left, she's throwing a pretty good shot.
And here she goes all the way to about lane 75 and getting a little jogging.
It's the Johnson shuffle.
that what it is?
Yep. She'd like to use it again right here. And she does. A double. Praise the bowling gods for that one, huh? President of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, Don Hillman, will be wrapping things up at their annual convention down in Florida. And a couple of weeks said, you know, it's been a marvelous experience for me heading up the organization. Kind of glad it's over, though, because I'm tired of the traveling.
Wally Hall, the incoming president.
And, of course, a ball change. I knew it would happen sooner or later.
Well, Denny, if you could be her coach and sit right down there, she would have had it made. It was inevitable.
It's so easy up here, but I guarantee you, after a while, when you see that thing keep going dead straight, you might as well just reach in there and grab out something else, because it's not going to work. Even for a different picture, you know.
Well, right now, she realized she had nothing to lose. She was already down by 32 pins, so she had to give it a run.
Comes back and throws a double. Now we've got ourselves a match.
And finally on lane 77, she gets a good ball reaction.
That's an understatement. Tish now. Plenty of room. Oh, a little too long. Looks down at the hand. Perhaps that one didn't quite get off as cleanly as she would have liked. Looked pretty good from here.
Well, the humidity level rises, the pressure rises, and the ball doesn't come off clean. And she practically loses that ball. Stayed right out on the one board and didn't make the break back.
Crosses a number of boards, but does not convert the split. It's amazing, though, how the ball doesn't come off the hand quite as well when your opponent has come up with a big double. Pressure is really tough to deal with at times. She still leads by 7, but keep in mind, Dana Miller-Mackie works on a double as we are at the midway point here, championship game of the Seagram's Coolers US Open, live from Satellite Bowl in Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
Flat 7 as the 4-pin lays in the channel. The ball not quite driving hard enough.
Media core on hand. Gentleman in the blue jacket, Doug Bradford. Outstanding bowling writer for many, many years. To his left, it's E.A. Bud Fisher, former promotions director, PR director for the PBA and a Hall of Famer. Tish Johnson applauding herself for converting the 7.
Well, when you missed one earlier in the game, the last thing you want to really shoot at is the 7-pin. And Dana Miller, making a ball change just 2 frames ago, started a string of 2 strikes.
Well, she went open, 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 and then opened the bag and went for another ball. Leaves the bucket. Good aggressive shot. That's critical, though, isn't it, Leila? You get to a certain point and you have to make some kind of a move. Sometimes it's right, other times it's wrong, huh?
Exactly. And she did.
Got herself back into the match.
Trails by 11 pins right now. She's missed this earlier this evening.
I like this. Now, the spare ball was the old strike ball.
Well, I used that this week, Denny. I said, what happens when you use your spare ball for your strike ball? Which ball then becomes your spare ball?
The ball that you're shooting your spares with.
A
In
perfect
this case,
conversion.
she's using her spare ball.
Exactly. But it used to be her strike ball.
Exactly. Okay. This is obviously the strike ball. See?
Yes, it was.
I've got it figured out.
Well, we have it figured out up here, but do they have it figured out down there?
Down by 11, Tish Johnson.